Hello and welcome everybody back to the Dumbass class it's been too long for some more Rogue Trader. Glorious happy days. So we're going to do a longer recap just to remind our players of what's been going on. However, I'm going to be nicer to the players because things were happening in the behind the scenes. Taken me a while to remember what all the roles were for, so going back about 4 to 5 days now, our group of stranded Imperial servants on this strange, undesignated world found themselves heading to a small fishing outpost called Prim. They went there with their usual furry companion, Muttermouth, also known as Kai, and Thomas. They were tasked with being Thomas's bodyguards, as he was to go to Prim and find out why their deliveries of supplies were late. Upon arriving at Prim, the team walked into an ambush where, with the watchful gaze of the Emperor, the degenerate Eldar gods, and Nuffle, our team took some damage but survived. They killed a group of pirates, the same pirates that had captured them and brought them to this world all those weeks ago. They also found some Fetids there that had been wounded and had been captured. The team checked the outpost and found it brimming with supplies, and found a few other things of note on the pirates. They loaded up their cart with the wounded, and they brought another 2 carts with them, loaded up with supplies, with their one herd beast and themselves pushing. They travelled from the fishing outpost of Prim across open terrain into the forest and towards the Fetids' home territory. Excuse me, I've drunk some beer and now it's fucking gassing on me. God damn it. So, whilst our party, and I did get this bit wrong with you guys, so there's a slight change here. So when they were travelling through the open plains, the pirates arrived back at the outpost and found the Fetids were gone and their people were slain. This is where you all heard the gunshots in the distance. As it happened, I forgot, and I did it anyway when you were in the forest, and we had that discussion over how far can a gunshot be heard from. So yeah, you weren't in the forest when that was meant to have happened. The party,
I see,
poisoned some of the food, some of the supplies that were left behind, but otherwise didn't touch what was left. So as you guys camped out for the first time in the forest, the pirates had gotten their dead stowed away. Some supplies were transported away. Some supplies were eaten. None of the pirates succumbed to the poison. None of the ones that were eating the supplies on that day. The next day, when you guys ran into the Sakoons again, the pirates had picked up the trail. You had one herd beast moving at least 2 very heavy carts and one heavy cart along open terrain. So as you got back to the Fetids town, the pirates had entered the forest. The next day, Heinrich, that evening, Heinrich, you had used a Sakoon as a pillow. The next morning, you had gained botulism as a ailment. rushing back
At
and
least it's
forth.
not botulinum poison.
Yeah. The brown rain was summoned forth upon you through some horrific ritual of psychic fuckery, or, hugging a dead corpse all night. So you were kind of out of it for a couple of days, for a day and a half, running back and forth to the quote unquote latrine, where our resident psyker spent her day and a half staring at a rock. Our resident degenerate spent her day hiding behind. Hiding behind a tent, eavesdropping on people, before exploring a little bit. Our resident tech priest sat down with Thomas and discussed some technological things, and began taking apart his weapon. He discovered that this was no ordinary heavy weapon. It was an Archaeotech gun of a design that he was not familiar with. The ammunition for it is also non-standard to the Imperium. However, Thomas did inform him where he can get hold of some more in the future. It was around this time that there was an argument heard from, or raised voices were heard from, the elders' building. It was her who was being... It was her apprentice who was being loud, along with the protector Jinx. When I suppose you could call it a word of command, a word from the leader, Harmony. Probably gonna be Holly now, but let me double check this. Harmony leader.
Harmony.
Harmony. I was wrong. So a strong word of command, a barked order from Harmony, and the argument stopped. You basically there was silence. The next day, we got to about midday. A point I forgot to mention. On the first day, a lot of the hyena type fetits had all gone out to search, to check the area, make sure there was you weren't followed, nothing's like the other abhuman fetit mutant creatures aren't in the area. The next day, halfway through the day, a number of them came running back at full sprint back into the Fetid, the Emperor's Sanctum, the Fetid's main town in the south, and went straight into the Elders' tent. Heinrich, this is where the galloping trots had eased upon your aching bow, and as you came out of the tent, you just saw the hyena Fetid kin thing dive into the Elder's hut. As you're all brought up to speed, as Heinrich is brought up to speed, Abby's the rock. Oh, sorry, another thing I forgot. As Abby, our resident psyker, stared at the rock for the second day, it began to levitate. Muttermouth, seeing this, and being the only Fetid to see it and take action, was not happy with Abby. As it turns out, she was trying to use her powers to levitate a rock for a day and a half, acting as a beacon within the warp. So Muttermouth was not too happy at this, but as that kind of section happened, the hyenakin ran back in, and I'm pretty sure that brings us up to square with where we should be at the moment. Is there anything my players want to do at the moment?
So Hina just ran inside. They're outside. Are these guys still outside properly?
Yes. The one with the fist is the one that you guys met the first time you came to this area. He was like the leader of the hyena fetids.
I'll do a little bit of a roundabout way, but I'll pass Gray to kind of move up to around here-ish to see. I see the barrels and stuff are like here. If I could like crouch down, press myself close to a window, they're probably a bit more distracted than usual. So
Sure, you can do that as you get closer, Heinrich. You can hear voices. They're not trying to doggo. They're not trying to be quiet. The only problem is they are all speaking Fetid. Whilst there are some words which you understand, because they're using the High Gothic word out of habit, or because that particular word replaced. Their language didn't have that particular word, so the Imperial one just took its stand. So you don't quite get everything that's coming out, but the feeling comes through.
When I realize it, can I, so when I realize I don't actually speak this, I'm going to turn around, jump slightly because I just Cray suddenly is behind me. I'm going to tell him to go get Muttermouth.
Did you ask me to cover you?
No, I just walked past you.
I thought you asked that I need to cover you.
See, I'm going to go up by Cray and like slip down here and go roundabout way around.
I'll go fetch Muttermouth and bring.
I mean, you probably would have fucking followed me because I did a weird thing. I just walked in towards everyone and then just like slipped between the tents.
Yoink.
Everyone's
nothing weird about that, actually. I've done that.
Everyone's like, huh, Heinrich's awake. Where's he going? What the? Huh?
He doesn't have the rocketing shits anymore. He's walking towards us. Oh, he's going to like fill us in. What happened? And oh no, he's going between the tents.
I mean, you probably slip between tents a lot.
No. The Fetids have a latrine. This is not Izmir. So you can hear the emotions at the very least, Heinrich. The hyena seems panicked and is speaking very, very quickly. Jinx, the protector, is just his normal, really deep, hardly not eligible, hardly audible, growling, snarling speech. Which in High Gothic, when you guys can understand him, it's difficult to hear him. With the in Fetid, it really just sounds like he's snarling and growling most of the time. And there's kind of, whilst from Harmony, there's probably very little noise coming from her end, but there would be kind of high pitch noises coming from Holly. Before Thomas would have noticed and the other Fox Fetids, but they're rebels. They're okay with this. So this Fetid moves down and this Fetid moves down. So Heinrich, if you look round to see if anyone is like checking you out, yes, there is one. Joseph the Trader has noticed you but isn't making any movements to suggest that he is hostile or planning to rat you out. Be the best way.
Can I start covering?
Is he planning to cat me out though?
Maybe. You can.
Mm.
You know,
He's
you
a
can,
fox. He's not a cat.
You can get on the.
He's a cat. He's a fucking shaved cat.
No. He's a cat. He's a cat. He's just a hairless cat.
Ew, bullshit.
There you go. See.
Purge it.
No,
Purge
no,
it with fire.
that's right. That's a Persian cat. Like, yeah, sorry.
That abomination of nature should be rooted out.
It was the other ones that were actually rats I got rid of. For the
Wait,
foxes.
rats?
Yeah,
Rats are fine.
The
Persian
white
cats
ones
not.
with the bows. Like when you zoomed in, I suppose I could have made the argument that they were weasels, but they did look very, very ratty. So yeah, I
Okay.
replaced them.
Oh, yeah, I realize now. Okay.
I mean, rats are scary as shit if they get big. So
Yeah, but it's not for this community. Remember this. So the Fetids are very much abhumans. They are human. They are not repulsive and grotesque. And so when you see them, you're not okay. Yeah, you can be shocked. Yeah, holy fuck! There's a wolf man. What the fuck? But when you see him, it looks like a wolf with a human's body, and it doesn't look like some grotesque monstrosity that you're like, kill, burn it with fire. Which is kind of what some of the others have turned.
Persian cats. I do
technically
think Persian
speaking,
cat
I am
one should.
disgusted. Technically speaking, I am disgusted by regular humans. So
So you can sit on the crates, Cray, and kind of just try to block line of sight.
Can I pull out the heavy gun I have with me and start polishing it? There.
So you can, but I'll just make it aware
Wait,
that can seem like a
what-
threatening motion when you're
What did
by
you?
the
What
elders.
did you? Hang on. What did Albie? What did you just say?
I was trying to make a distraction by doing maintenance on my heavy gun.
What do you think would happen if you took out a block by the president's house and tried to do maintenance on it? Do you think the secret police would be a bit like, what are you doing?
yes, let's be subtle. Let's get very close to their main building, and then I'm just gonna pull out my heavy machine gun and start polishing it.
Just go make sure the barrel's clean real quick.
Just for a second, please explain your train of thought behind that one.
Well, I was under the impression I need something to do, like that looks like a menial job. So when they, he's doing stuff.
Oh, look.
I might have been watching too many westerns.
Let's do something that doesn't incriminate us. So I take out my big fucking machine gun.
It's very intimidating. I'll lead with that. You know.
Please don't do that. Please tell me you just left the fucking gun in the camp. It's already weird enough that you'd be hiking over one of these fucking scrap cannons to the fucking window.
I won't do it then.
You just headbutt my chair, you little shit.
Again, no backsies.
So yeah, you can hear that there's clear panic coming from the hyena and you know, shock coming from Holly, anger from Jinx.
Expected.
Then there's a very low, almost purring tone, but quite. Oh, it's basically it's Harmony's Fetid voice comes over, and the panic of the hyena just seems to dissipate. The anger from Jinx also calms. Holly stays the same. Again, you can't understand the words. Muttermouth does make it over. Just in time to hear the last purring notes from Harmony. Before there's some extra discussion that goes along, but as Muttermouth gets there and you're like, you know, Trans, what's going on? He would, like, his ears turn to the wall. He looks a little bit like, as his ears turn, he's like, should I really be Harmony say we must leave now. Cannot wait for more supplies. Cannot wait for crops to be ready to harvest.
Wait, what? So you're just abandoning this place?
He shrugs and thinks, for a couple of moments, if Harmony say we must go, then we will leave. Yes. Maybe not me. I have other duties to perform. But others of camp will do as Harmony say.
Hmm. Is there any hint of what is giving them this idea?
Martimouth shrugs. Me not hear what was said. They his ears are still pricked, and Harmony tell Jinx to go prepare, get things ready to leave soon. With that, the sound of the doors goes, and you can hear the guttural growls of Jinx giving orders.
Up.
Slip
back past. I'm kind of grabbing Mothermouth and motioning to Cray to just kind of like slip back.
The two of the hyenas sprint off. I'm gonna put them out here, but they leave town. They just sprint off after getting their orders, going in different directions from each other. The other leader, basically the leader of the hyena group, he goes into their area, and you can see that he's moving things around, getting bags out, like traveling bags, and the equipment the bags which would be needed to pack the tents up, and things like that they've packed away, and they put that stuff to the back of the storage. They don't need that for a long time. Well, he's rustling around in other Bettit's possessions, bringing this stuff out and laying it down in front of the tents. The wolf group down by the crates and the training area, they too also begin getting crates out and filling them up and getting their areas prepared. And Jinx would more than likely come over to the front gate, basically ignoring all of you. As he goes out, he's looking around in the underbrush, looking for movement and so on.
Okay, I'm kind of putting. I'm going to make sure that Heinrich actually is putting two and two together there. That the pirates are the pirates are on their way.
Yeah. Mentor mode, do you think you can ask how many are coming? Gray says while looking longingly at the last gun on top of the tower.
Me think it best to wait now. Many things going on. Me not want to disturb Jinx or Elder.
I don't know you're here with 5. You know you're here with 4 other very capable fighters. And smarty boys. Yeah, but
have we been around long enough to actually heal up and everything?
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
We've been here for just an hour 30, I think.
Okay.
Yes,
unless I'm mistaken.
I'm still 1 HP away from full, but I think we're all basically full.
Okay. Sorry for interrupting there. You can carry on with your bit of Mothermouth. Sorry.
I think I was finished with it. Because so basically, he's not going to disturb them when they're running around really busy You know, oh, sorry, what was that I was overhearing? How many people are? It's not really.
No, it's more a case of like going up and wait, what's going on? What's happening? And
No. It's what Cray said to
Cray
Muttermouth.
said
Go and
specifically,
ask
yeah.
how many pirates are coming. And it's like, how would he know that there are pirates coming unless he eavesdropped on their conversation? You know.
I mean, the trader seemed sympathetic, right? I don't know if I would have noticed.
Yeah, he
What's
just
the trader doing?
He just didn't. He noticed
the
that you
trader
guys
is an
were there.
eccentric.
But he's a little bit like Thomas. He knows when he can spin a deal. You know, he knows when it's like, well, maybe if I don't say anything when I sell something to them next time, they'll pay a bit more, or I'll buy for a better price, or he has leverage now.
This is a question to the group. Do we have anything we can trade for info with the trader?
I'm just gonna make a point of it instead to start approaching, and with a I want to say, because Heimer's gut feeling now is that something is happening. There's going to be an attack, and judging by how quick they want to leave, it must be coming soon. So I'm going to mention to everyone here that to prepare any weapons you have. The fact that none of them actually have come over here is a little concerning, to be honest with you. And I'm going to start making my way down towards. I might stop with Joseph. Is it Joseph? Yeah, Joseph.
Heinrich, as you leave the Fox's camp, you hear raised voices coming from the Elders' building.
Right, more of them?
Yes.
I'm going to make a passing comment to Joseph that difficult to sleep around here with all the noise, eh?
So as you come over and speak to Joseph, his head turns and one ear turns towards you, whereas one ear stays firmly turned towards the Elders' building. I find it surprising that someone who was making so many trips to the latrine would have difficulty sleeping. I can't remember how he spoke. I don't think it is this one.
No, it is very much like that.
I know they
close
are.
enough.
I know they are. I can't remember what his was.
So,
so he
say
smiles.
that again?
So basically, he said, it's surprising that someone who's making so many trips to the latrine would find it difficult to sleep. It gives you a smile.
I stare blankly into his face for just a moment to say, maybe I shit the tiredness out of me before cracking a smile.
He sniggers as there is a shout that comes from the Elders' building. A shout that makes the two guards, the tiger ones, turn and look back with a bit of surprise. And it is Harmony. No, sorry, it is Holly who has shouted. It's the apprentice.
Okay, so I'm telling Joseph. So, any quick bits of info before the inevitable?
He looks at you and I saw Kai with you, so you must know pretty much everything I know.
Leaving? I don't know why. I'm going to start approaching the doorway. So maybe I should ask for some more pointed questions. I'll walk right there to see if there's any reaction before I'll start actually walking to the door.
The guards take a step in. They don't go towards weapons, but they do give you a look of, you're not disturbing the elder. Like, they're not being hostile, but there's very much that you're not disturbing the boss right now vibe coming from them.
I'm just kind of like this coat I got from the old foreman. I'm just kind of flicking it out to show that I'm not carrying much on me, and what I do is all holstered, and I can't do much right now with my hands out. And uh, gentlemen, what I'm looking to do is just get some questions here, especially since when I look over towards where Jinx is, I'm like, we weren't exactly included in any discussion.
The tiger kin in the white coat holds a hand out. As he speaks, it seems incredibly difficult with his large canines. Yeah, they are large canines. To actually speak Low Gothic. But he says in a very growly, "Elder busy. Come back later."
Is that before or after we leave here?
Who say you leave with us?
Ah, I see.
You
I have a smile on my
not
face as he says that.
vetted.
No, I'm not. What was the
You hear
plan? Just to
another-
leave us?
You hear another shout from Harmony. And more raised voices. The guard in
I'm
the,
looking over. Oh fuck! Why am I
the guard in the darker coat looks back at the door, looks at the other guard, but doesn't move.
I'm gonna look at Thomas and ask if what, just like, what was that, or what was that about? Or sorry, Joseph, not Thomas. Did I say Thomas or Joseph? I don't fucking remember.
You said Thomas, but sure, Joseph. So, Thomas would be around. Short so amount, to be honest. Joseph looks round at you and the scouts must have found some thing. Yeah. I'm going to forget his voice. I don't like doing it anymore. He's going to get. He purrs a lot. He says that the scouts found something. Something that Harmony believes that the Fetids should stay away from.
Something that they would leave to stay away from.
Yes. I mean, again,
Sounds like
this isn't a permanent dwelling in that there aren't
no, this isn't a
always
permanent
Fetids here.
establishment. I'm aware of that. I'm
It is
more than aware of that.
Permanent. No.
It's like that fishing village. It's like it's a permanent encampment, but the people here aren't permanent.
Yeah.
Permanent settlement, but not always occupied.
Yeah.
Right.
There's another shout from Holly, or raised voices that are getting to a shout, but again, it's coming from Holly more than Harmony.
Okay.
Abby will say to Heinrich, "Would you like me to say something to them?" That might be easier than trying to convince their gods.
You can try, I guess. I think.
Well, in that case, I'll cast Thought Sense, and I will try to send, we are willing to help if you're willing to talk to us. To both Holly and Harmony. Close.
Oof.
So, who were you doing first? Do Holly or Harmony first?
No, I was sending to both of them.
Yeah, no, but you've got to you've got to send to one first and then to the other. I don't think you can send it to multiple at a time, can you?
No, it can be a select group or individuals.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Right, then I will. We'll go youngest first then. So, Holly uses a fortune point. Holly succeeds, and so does Harmony to reject your message. Their argument continues.
Rude.
Well, you know, how rude is it to interject yourself in other people's personal affairs?
Well, you know, look who's talking. First fucking day we arrive here, they do that shit to me.
Yeah, but you weren't in the middle of in an argument. You were just listening whilst Jinx was being a dick. To Heinrich in particular, I think.
I think so. I haven't gone on the right foot with Jinx at all.
Whereas they're having a full blown argument at the moment. So it's like, be gone. It's like your phone ringing when you argue with your missus. It's like, just turn it off, be gone. Yeah, or it's an escape, either way.
Right.
So, is there anything you want to do right now? Did you want to try and knock on the door, or are you just retreating for the moment?
If they're not being aggressive, I'm just gonna I'm put one hand up just to show them I'm not being aggressive. I'm not being aggressive or anything else. I'm just gonna lean past and knock the door.
They would stop you.
They would stop me?
Yeah, they would stop you if you're trying to knock on the door. Like they wouldn't, like that. Basically, they'd put a hand out, and if you keep going forwards to knock on the door, the hand goes on the chest, and if you put force onto them, then they will shove you back. But
Right.
they are being
So
very
as soon as they put their
passive.
hand, yeah, as soon as they put the hand up, so it starts going towards the chest, I put the hand down. So I'm just looking at both. Like, look, the first one on the left, then on the right, back and forth. And the gentleman, I'm trying to make an offer of assistance. From what I'm trying to believe, from what I believe, this could be a mutual threat or enemy. What affects you right now is affecting us as well, especially from your previous comment that we are apparently to be left behind regardless. So to be in your good graces as well as my own, save my own ass, and look back at Joseph just mentioned, like, I don't want to shit anymore. I would rather speak to those in charge than the hothead who walks behind me and any of the other ones who can't even speak my tongue.
He looks at you with this face of I do not give a shit. He looks over at, it would probably be Joseph because he's closest. When he talks Fettit, you'd notice his mouth hardly opens. His tones are really soft, yet they have a deepness to them. And Thomas, you know, his ears go from the house, they kind of twist over to be more on him for a moment. And Thomas places an arm on your shoulder. And Thomas is basically like, it would be better if you just went and sat and waited for their argument to be over. They have said they will not let you in until the elder or Holly, or Holly come out and say that, you know, they're done with their discussion argument.
Kalindra will just speak from the back. You know, just let them fight. After that's done, we talk, trying to interject ourselves into their conversation. It's kind of rude. Again, I'm going to look at the two catmen. They don't want to let us in. The other two inside probably don't want to hear us right now. Let them fight. We'll talk later. We can wait.
All right, then.
Heinrich goes over to prepare everything inside the backpack.
Heinrich? What?
Trey, sorry.
It's so long you forgot your own character's name.
Just Albie takes over my fucking character for a minute there. I was like, hang on a second.
Like, here we trade.
All right. I'll just turn around to the rest of the guys and say, hi, okay. Like I said last time, prepare yourselves. I'll wait here. When they're finished, I'm turning back to these guys. When they're finished, I do wish to speak with them. And I'll stand by the well. Just so I can actually look around myself so I can see the other camps and specifically Jinx as well.
Sure. Well, actually, I should probably put Jinx outside the walls slightly. So yeah, Jinx hasn't looked back at the community. He's just constantly scanning the forest still. As you come away, Heinrich, Joseph, he just gives a nod of understanding. The guards, again, they get it, but their orders are just to not let anyone in, to stand guard and to, protect the elder. Whereas Muttermouth does come over to your side along with Thomas. There's nothing really important. It gets passed along. They're just there. There's a bit of idle chit chat that goes on as this argument in the elders' tent just seems to keep growing and growing and growing. And it's Holly who's doing most of the shouting. When she does shout, you would notice that the other Fetits, they'd look around and they're like, what the whoa. Some of them even stop packing to take a moment and just like, oh, wow. Haven't heard them arguing like that and you can see it written all over their faces, how this just seems to have either never happened or be really, really rare. There's about another 5 minutes or so where it kind of calms down. The shouting stops. And Muttermouth and Thomas would probably tell you that a lot of it is swearing, curses. They're not entirely sure what's going on. Holly's definitely pissed at what the elder's doing, but they're not quite sure what part has got her so angry. Before you hear Harmony shout, really aggressive, like almost like a bark, or like two cats fighting, that really loud fucking squeal that comes out, only it's more humanized. As it's been a good 15 minutes that you've probably been by the well, Heinrich, as this argument has just carried on. Well, Heinrich and the rest of you, when Holly comes storming out, slams the door behind her, turns to the guards and snarls, like spitting with rage, says something in Fetid. And the guards look at her. They obviously, shock is written over their face. They haven't seen, or you guys haven't seen, Holly like this, and they don't seem to have seen her so angry. She barks these orders, storms around. She does take note of you guys. She does look at you all, and her expression does change before she storms out of the community over to where Jinx is. The rage is still in her voice, but her body language doesn't portray the rage that is seen. Her body language is very calm. but you can still hear the growls coming from her. As Jinx turns round, his ears do go back into a more submissive tone, motion. You've only really seen this when the elder has communicated with him through telepathy, or when he's gone into the elder's house. His ears normally show a more subordinate and less aggressive mannerism. He does this with Holly, and there's a moment of through the like his expression softens, which you haven't really seen that so far. He's always just aggressive and nasty, but his ears go back, his expression softens, and Holly is at least a head and a half shorter than Jinx, so he's looking down at her, but you note that he lowers his posture completely to be more on an eye level with her, if not letting her be a little bit more dominant, as she is, like, again, her words are carrying real anger and pain. It's a couple of minutes probably where she's just saying shit to Jinx. Funnily enough, Thomas and Muttermouth, who are both near you, it's audible, but their ears have also gone back. They've taken a much more submissive tone and posture as well.
I want to look at Abby at that, and can I just whisper, like, can you see if power was used?
Sure, I can try.
Oh, Abby. I understood Abby. My bad.
I mean, if you'd like to roll clinicians, go right ahead.
I would like to see Craig like just pull out this mechanical device, go just boop, boop.
I mean,
Yep.
I do have an auger
Wait a
array I
minute.
can fix.
He has to get closer to get a better signal.
Hang on, the reception in this area is poor.
It is.
You don't know.
Actually, fuck it. It's been so long. I'll just watch you.
Oh,
Nope, you don't know. Not quite sure if a power has been used. It's a very, very weak one. But for some reason, Abby, this area is just... Maybe it's the humidity. There's something that's just... You're not on your A game and you just can't quite get the taste or flavour or sight of, if anything, strange or warpy is afoot. Unfortunately, Knuffle says no. With a target of 69. Got a 72.
oh, that's nice.
Not a degenerate. Not enough.
So, after a couple of minutes, Holly comes back over. As Holly comes back over, you'd see that Jinx comes back and over to the quote-unquote leader of the hyenas. As Holly comes back over, she does again look at you all. Well, she makes eye contact with you, but she stops on Thomas. She begins speaking Thetit to Thomas. Again, I'll give it to you. You're in close proximity to all of them now. So Muttermouth, Thomas, Joseph, and the two guards all have their ears down in a submissive manner and are, if not trying to make themselves look a little smaller, and less intimidating. They are trying to lower themselves ever so slightly. The tiger ones, not like they're more trying to go lower, whereas Muttermouth and Kai and Joseph are trying to, make themselves look smaller. Thomas does reply, but there's confusion more than anything as he's replying, and he's like pointing over to his tent, and she's saying things, and he nods like vigorously before she turns to all of you. I must ask you.
Who's Oscar?
Oscar. I must ask you all again to assist our community. I do not agree with Harmony's orders to leave this place. We do not have the supplies needed, and we have given up far too much. As you have said, they have our people. They have taken Fetits into slavery, and we are to abandon them. Our kindred, our own blood. I will not allow this to happen. Harmony has only allowed those that volunteer to join me, and I am restricted from using my gifts. So I must ask any Fetits who would wish to defy Harmony's orders. There will be few. She is the leader, and they will follow her. So I must
It's
ask
a good
you.
thing we're not Fetids.
I'm a mechanicus, so I can ask questions blunt. Okay, now back into character. 2 questions. No, 3 questions. 1, how many are coming? 2, can I get on that cannon? 3, if we've managed to defend this place, do you think there's a chance we can get into the fortress?
She looks at you and her head kind of goes on the tilt. The first question. 20, if not less. They have entered the forest, but they have gotten lost. There are 3 groups, but from time to time they were meeting up. They are looking for the trail you left behind, but the forest is thick, and they are struggling to pick up where you came through. We will not fight here. At best, they will be here in 2 days. Harmony will leave in a day and a half. We will have to leave today and persuade these scum to never enter our forest again.
Okay.
If we do not we do not stop them, then what cannot be taken will be destroyed. The generator. If we activate it and leave, and the gun does not fire, it will overload. There will be little evidence of us being here.
It's a little too blatant of my idea, though.
So it may be in your best interest to assist us, Mechanicus.
That's why I asked after the cannon.
As for your third question. Third, third continue. If and when I am leader, you will be welcomed. That is all I can offer.
I answer with a short binary screech afterwards. Binary screech isn't as polite.
Okay. I mean, I've already agreed, technically. As a mutual enemy, of course I want payback, and at least with your assistance, as well as perhaps some felonids, we'll have a good idea about ambush tactics and such. What is your position on taking some potentially alive?
If there are survivors, if that is what you wish to claim as a payment, you can have them. We have no need for prisoners or... She doesn't even say slaves. She just kind of peters off into her own thoughts.
Taking the prisoners will give me some information that I do need. I wish to help, but if we help here, I do want at least some understanding that we do wish for mutual cooperation. A little bit more mutual cooperation.
She looks at you. In what way?
A little more of the cold shoulder could disappear, if I'm honest. And maybe some more assistance in the future. I do think it is good to think long term than short term in most occasions. If you're more open to cooperation.
Unfortunately, that is... Harmony is long-sighted. She sees far, many, many moves ahead of most. I would say I am more short-sighted in my goals. But I do understand the meaning behind your sentiment. I can only offer what I offered Cray. That if and when I am the leader, I will assist you. But until then, I cannot offer things that are not in my power to offer.
Very well. Something to put in the back pocket, then. I'm gonna say that with a nice big grin. I guess there's no point in me trying to get in there and ask some of the felons for you. Fedids for you. I'm gonna look to the rest of the group and actually make sure they do agree.
Go ahead.
Kalindra, do you agree to causing pain and suffering to some poor fucker?
Nah, I don't think today's a good day. Of course I agree. That's not even a question. That's all I want.
Abby?
What? Sorry.
Are you up for this?
Yeah, sure.
All right. This small question from the Mechanicus. How feasible would it be to pull out the cannon and put it on a cart?
Quite.
If you had a week, you could do it. You could take the generator out. You could take the gun out. You know, you could, well, maybe 2, because it is Archaeotech, but it's still Imperial parts.
It's a long-term project.
Yeah,
Too long for it.
Short term, like leaving in the next couple of hours, impossible. Well, not if you want it in one piece.
Well, I would like to be able to use the gun.
Yeah, then
You
unfortunately,
always just attach it to your butt.
attach it
You
to
don't
your
need a
shoulder.
generator when you just attach it to yourself.
I mean,
You know?
I
Have
still
the
need to
mecha
mount
wang.
it. I still need to mount it on something for field artillery.
It'll be really difficult for you to walk, but you know, with maybe a servitor helping you with the back end. You could.
mean, you could always, integrate it into yourself and just
I know the mecha doll.
slap some wheels on instead of your legs, and there you go.
No, I was thinking, a servitor at the back as a counterbalance, maybe some wheels at the front and in between the legs. You wouldn't be able to hide it; it'd just always be on show. But that's what a big dong's for.
Build a servitor body for it out of cyberdongs.
So, unfortunately, yeah, not in the next 2 hours that you have to get ready. As you all kind of nod your approval, and some of you voice your approval for this task, the Holly turns to Muttermouth and says a few words in Fetid, and he takes a moment, looks over at his clan, looks back at Holly and nods, and then she asks Thomas as well. Thomas is a bit more taken aback, and there's a small conversation that goes on between him and Holly. When finally he kind of, you can see he doesn't, his mannerisms clearly say that he's not happy with what's going on, but he looks at you all, gives you all a look, is how I shall describe it, before he goes past all of you and enters into the Elder's tent building. Holly gives you all, she gives you an appreciative smile before she heads off and starts going round. And you can see her; she's going to go round to all the fetids, and basically plead her case for. They've taken our people slaves. We don't get taken slaves. Let's fight back. So if you want to use this time to pack up your gear, to get things ready, to do this and that, you can. If you actually wanted to do some RP or something, by all means. Or we can just skip 10 minutes and, Thomas will return.
I'll make sure I gather my equipment at the very least. I will ask some of you, what do you think of the situation currently?
Sounds like a profitable venture. I mean, think about it. We get to be, we get to have the next leader of this place on our side. I'm going to shrug. That doesn't sound like a bad deal.
I agree. Besides, those pirates are heretics. They deserve to die.
Also, think of the loot.
All right.
So you all go back to your individual tents, grabbing the gear and supplies that you may have got from your cart over the last couple of days, and just put in your tent for ease of reach. You can leave some stuff here in your tents that are allocated to you. If there's things that you don't want to carry into battle, otherwise you have got your cart. Do you want to leave your cart here and travel on foot, or do you want to take your cart with you? Keep in mind that the cart does remove 1 square of travel when traveling in thick woods.
It slows us. It's going to slow us down.
It slows you down.
Do
you do speed up because you're with Fetics, and this is their home turf. So, plus minus.
We're about to go ambush a bunch of pirates in the woods. I don't think we need a cart.
20 of them.
Yeah, like
Not a good idea to bring the cards. I mean, it might be nice for loot, but not a good idea.
Yeah. Okay. I think we leave the cart. We have to organize a little bit more with what fetids we can bring. We need to use all of the fetids advantages to circumnavigate our own feelings.
I'm going to look at whichever. I think it's Joseph. Look at Joseph. Say, Joseph, do you have any poisonous herbs you could lend me for a moment?
He looks at you as if you're speaking a different language. What do you mean give you?
Well, trade.
He gives you a more understanding nod. He's like, trade, yes. Pulls out a rucksack, or lowers, gets a rucksack off his back, and breaks some things out.
Sorry.
So they only
Kitty?
they only have herbs, poisonous herbs. They don't actually have any poison vials.
No, I don't think we have. Oh, do still have 4 sides. I'm going to look at the group and say, I don't think we're going to have time to go towards our hidey hole to get more poison vials. I could try to do something with these to coat your weapons, should you come in close range. It is very good and also delicious. You should try sometime.
I'm not falling for that one again. Damn it.
Again?
I think he's busy with his dog.
No, that was actually a response to Kalindra.
Oh, okay.
I'm not falling for that one again.
So yeah, he's willing to trade the poison herb ingredients. It's probably going to take you an hour to mash, pestle and mortar style, the herbs into a paste that can then be applied onto.
Poisons on us?
Yeah, you do.
I have a single vial of toxin coating, but that I can do that for me. But if you guys going to melee, none of you have it.
I think you're the one that primarily gets the most benefit out of poisons anyway.
Also, you have to have chem use in order to apply the poison. If you don't have,
I can apply a single coding to two melee weapons, can't I? Even if they're not mine.
You
I
still
could,
have to roll
in
it. Yeah,
theory,
no,
help.
you can apply as much poison to as many weapons as you want. You have to roll each time.
Oh, I
And
do.
if you
I know.
if you fuck up, you get poisoned yourself. That's all.
Ow!
I
They
think
want me
it's
to do
3
it.
degrees. I haven't. I looked it up originally, a month or so ago. I think it's like 3 degrees of failure. You actually poison yourself, but if you fail with it, I believe you use up the poison. So it's definitely only for people who have chem use. And if you wanted to, Calindra, you could get more. But like I said, it'll take you an hour of pestle and mortar grinding it up into a gooey paste that can be applied to a weapon. It's also not going to be as effective because there's a lot of extra crap in there, whereas yours is a refined poison.
Oh, I know, but still.
But yes, you
if
can.
that bit can help.
You
I'm
can
just gonna
trade,
look-
Poison with
and you
pulp.
can make the poison. These are all possible things.
I'm just going to look. The two ones that have weapons that I could coat in poison that I know of are Heinrich and Mothermouth. I'm just going to look at you with a disinterest. Not disinterest look. I'm just going to look at you like, do you want me to do that for you?
No, I don't need poisons, but thank you.
Mothermouth shakes his
As
head.
I hack the chain sword up.
I'm going to look at Mothermouth. Do
He shakes his
you
head.
want me to
He's like,
poison your weapons?
No, not from
No?
you, degenerate. No.
I'm just going to. Fine, it's your loss. I'll still get the herb though, but I will not.
You still
Right
want to
up.
trade? Okay. What are you trading? Well, one scythe.
Sure.
Okay. So he takes a look at. He takes a look at the scythe. I believe it's poor quality because it came from Izmir and from the degenerates there.
Yep.
He doesn't. He gives you a look of what is this shit. He takes a look at the wooden handle and half, and it's all like parts are rotten. It's not a very good grip for your hands and so on. And he pulls out 2 parcels of herbs and proffers them towards you. You can roll commerce if you think he is lowballing you.
I don't have commerce, but I'll look at him and say, how much more would this give me? I'll take this cooked carcass that I have.
He looks at the carcass that... No, I believe you actually skinned it. I do remember you rolling some skinning
Did
rolls.
skin it, yes.
So
I have.
it's the fur that you're proffering to him, or are you proffering a body?
I have 3 hanks of meat, sickle meat, 3 leather pelts of fine, and 3 muscle.
So 3 days ago, when you killed the Sakoons, you had Sakoon meat. You spent a day.
I still have 3 fine leather pelts.
Yeah, you still have the pelts. They're still usable. I would say that if you've skinned the animal, you did take the time to scrape the fat and skin sinews off of the pelt.
I did make sure to not let it rot.
Don't get me wrong.
I didn't sleep on it.
It hasn't been tanned, and it hasn't been like placed on a skin stretcher to dry, but it at the very least isn't rotten. You look at the Sakoon meat that you never salted, and you kind of sniff it, and probably not. If you hand him a Sakoon pelt, he will proffer 5 poison herb sachets, like little baggies or wraps.
I'll give him 1 pelt, 1 scythe, so that makes a total of 7, right?
Yep.
Cool. I now have 10 poisonous plants. Actually, herbs.
So when you mash them up, each parcel is enough to coat a weapon or poison a person. It's just less effective. When you put it into the machine, I can't remember if it was 3-1 or 2-1. Can't quite remember off the top of my head at the moment. But
It's 3-1.
You do use up far more, but it comes out as a far more potent and usable poison. So sure, you can do your trade there. So it's about 5-10 minutes go by when Thomas emerges. He's scratching his hand, like the back of his hand, and covering it with his robe. Can you stop? I do not care. Be quiet. Yeah, he covers the back of his paw as he comes out, and he makes his way over to his tent and little mini workshop area. Kalindra, as Thomas goes to open the door of his tent, he uses the hand that he was covering, and you notice the back of his hand has been basically shaved clean. The fur is no longer on the back of his hand, and there is a mark, appears to be a burn mark on the back of his hand. As he enters into his tent, you can hear lots of rustling and moving of things. The tent itself at times like bulges out where he's moved something and knocked into the side of the tent.
I'll raise a single eyebrow. Look at it and be like,
It's about 2 minutes or so that he's in his tent, rustling around, moving stuff, and so on and so forth. When he comes out, he is no longer wearing his plain, well, his kind of scholarly robes have gone. He now has what appears to be some sort of chest piece that he has placed, that has gone over his robes on top of his shoulders and covering his chest area. He has also put on a helmet. None of them are Imperial designed equipment. However, they clearly look like armor. They clearly look well made and very refined, in that Thomas's chest size hasn't really increased all that much. And for those of you who have seen soldiers in carapace, you'd know that carapace is thick. It makes a man look like a tank, makes him look bigger, stronger, and this armor looks a little flimsy. Is probably the best way to put it, a little bit thin. But as he comes out, he has a utility belt around his waist. There are a number of objects that have been placed inside them. He walks down carrying what looks like a modern quiver with what appears to be a unstringed bow. And he passes that over to Muttermouth. As he passes it to Muttermouth, he does it in an odd way. So he stands side on to Muttermouth as he comes back to your group. He takes the hand that's been, the Kalindra knows, the back of it has been shaved and there's a mark on it. He takes that he takes that hand and passes what appears to be a bow and arrows to Muttermouth. But he holds it out in a way that the back of his hand is clearly visible. So Muttermouth looks down and actually takes Thomas's hand first. Muttermouth looks over at Thomas, and there's some very quiet whimpering, almost fetid speech. And Thomas doesn't look happy, but he looks kind of resigned to his fate. Muttermouth takes the bow, gives Thomas a little like nod of his head, a slight bow, as he basically removes his primitive bow and begins stringing a composite bow. Thomas looks at all of you and, so when we go then?
I'm just going to raise an eyebrow, look at his hand, look at Heinrich. Shrug. Now?
When you look at his hand, Kalindra,
Hey.
he does place it behind his back. Even though you've kind of noticed, like his ears twitch and his hand goes behind his back, and he kind of holds himself with his hands behind his back upright, a little straighter.
We leave when Holly gets back.
Would not be best to wait outside town, yes?
Probably.
Sure.
Mate.
Abby will look at Thomas and say,
Raise a cigarette.
"Our punishment."
He gives you a quizzical look. What?
She'll hold up her hand for a moment.
Oh, no concern of yours. No. You're not fetid. Not matter to you. He turns around, looks back longingly towards his side of the Fetid camp, before turning to Muttermouth and saying something in Fetid, before he walks out of town. Like he says and he points and he makes his way out of town. Muttermouth gives him a look and a nod. And as he walks past, Muttermouth kind of gives him a camaraderie, hand on the shoulder, or pat on the shoulder as he goes by.
Feeling this is some form of probably not voluntary exile, but exile nonetheless. So I'll go meet him.
Abby nods.
Muttermouth goes back to the Fetids for a moment. A couple of minutes. So as you make your way out, Heinrich, Cray, and Abby, you'll notice that Thomas isn't really looking at the community. He's kind of looking out towards the trees. These two hyena folk shouldn't actually be there. Yeah, I'll move them back in for now. Can we get everyone in? Kind of. But as you see, he's not really looking back towards the town. He does have a large backpack on with quite a lot of stuff.
You are welcome to stay with us, She'll just say off the cuff. Not really looking at him.
He turns around, looks at you, sighs heavily. Yes, me think so. You reason I get exiled after all, yes?
I'm hanging my head on that. Yeah, he's got a point.
Yeah, he does.
Kai already offer for me to stay with him. Which means I now tag along with you until I am forgiven, elder die, or I die.
I'm sure Holly would probably disagree with your exile. It's not your
Maybe.
fault after all.
Maybe, true. But we have to see when Harmony takes leadership, won't we? After all, she will have to unite all Fetids. she cannot show favoritism to one group if that's anger the rest. And harmony is correct, yes. If I not do trade without Elder knowing, I not get punished to go to Prim, not bring supplies back, not leave trail.
Perhaps
again-
the fault lies with the punishment.
But again, not happen if you not come here either. So
The pirates would have come for you anyway. Don't be silly. You're smarter than that. I know it.
If we weren't here, you probably wouldn't be alive after your punishment either. So
no, think. If you'd not here, I would not have been sent to Prim on my own. Because you were here, we could send us to Prim. I may have gone in a couple of days' time when, pirates already come back. But either way, there's not much that can be done now. Must just live with decisions. Yes. He gives off still this kind of kooky inventor, tinkerer. He still gives off the same vibe, but you can clearly see in his eyes this is not how he expected things to go. Like, he is deeply hurt that he has to leave, his wife, his family, and everyone behind, but is crazy enough and eccentric enough to hold it together and put a decent spin on it.
Well, look on the bright side. You can always see this as an opportunity to
You
prove
shouting
your
that
worth
across
when you come back.
Are you shouting that across the town, Kalindra? Hey,
You may be exiled, but hey, if you didn't laugh, you'd cry.
What do you have a fet? It's
it's
like,
not
wait,
so
he was
bad
exiled?
after all, is it?
You don't want to be stuck in this dump all the time, do you?
The rest of the fetish are just
Shut
looking at Kalindra.
I mean, Thomas, if you ever want to, we could get you in.
I was being nice. Kalinder's trying to be a little bit nice. For self-interest, but still.
Oh, man.
You can have a bit more of a conversation with Thomas as Muttermouth comes over. He passes off something to Thomas. It seems like a handkerchief or some piece of cloth or some such. He takes it, gratefully, places it in his robe. Couple of hours go by as Holly comes back. She also brings with her two of the other Fox Bettits who have the very nice ballistic weapons. And she brings one of the wolf people who was in the camp. She brings another two who have been healing, who are the ones from Prim. These are the ones that you guys saved. And she gets let's use a fortune point for that one. Why not? Let's re-roll it and see. One better. She also gets two of the hyenas. Now, to be honest with you, the hyenas and the wolves are exactly the same. So, character sheet wise, they're exactly the same. They're melee.
Racism much?
Or the you notice the
Aren't they separate species?
yes, they are, but they use the same character sheet. The only ones that have different weapons and equipment are the ranged ones, because obviously weapon skill and ballistic skill are swapped around, and a few other stats are changed. But the the hyenas, who you saw last time with scavenged las guns. This time, like you saw, one of them had a proper las gun or had a proper gun. They've still got their scavenged las guns, or the two hyenas, but the wolves have all got melee weapons. So whereas the hyenas they're a crap ranged group, they do have melee weapons as well, whereas the wolves are pure melee and the foxes are pure ballistics.
I would like to point out the first time we ever met the hyenas, they were all stuck in trees with only ranged weapons.
Did they only have... Let me have a look at the... They had... No, so they had muskets. Sorry, that was it. Their leader has a salvaged las gun. They all have muskets. But the foxes are the ones with the resplendent heavy rifles.
Resplendent heavy rifles? What the fuck?
Yes. They also have... so the wolfmen have short cleavers. Oh, so the reason why the hyenas don't technically have a melee weapon is because they have claws and fangs. They have a natural melee weapon.
Okay.
The resplendent heavy gun is in new weapons. Where is it? It is the resplendent heavy rifle. So well, considering they're with you now, Heinrich and Cray and everyone, you can see them preparing their weapons. So they're compact, so they're quite small for a heavy machine gun. They're resplendent, which means the owner gains a +5 charm and intimidate test whilst he possesses the weapon, but search tests to find this item have a +30. So if these guys try to hide in the bushes with their heavy weapons, yeah, there's a +30 to try and find it because they're all blinged up and shiny and look nice. It's also unpredictable. This item is notorious and it is said to favour its owners at some times and torment him at others. When its owner succeeds on a test using this item, he adds 1 degree of success, but when he fails, he adds 2 degrees of failure.
Oh, okay.
I will also... So, Muttermouth... Basically, as you look at Muttermouth's arrows, they have quite large tips on the ends of the arrows. Far too large to be stabby, more kablooey. So Muttermouth has got a weapon upgrade from Thomas.
Explosive arrows.
It has the 50 cal of bows.
Yeah, pretty much.
50 cal of arrows.
So as you all gather, it's been about an hour, like Holly's... I'm going to keep getting her name wrong at the moment. Yeah, it is Holly. It is Holly. You're right, she said for the first time, she was like an hour or two, but it seems after an hour, yeah, the Fetids have turned up. And, there's not nearly as many as you may have thought were going to appear. But you are given
I didn't have much hope, so...
Yeah.
It's actually more than I thought.
Well, considering you were told that there was 20 enemies, and, 7 Fetids.
20 enemies, and there's, originally 5 of us. That's more than enough.
Yeah, we'll see.
For a piece.
Remember what happened last time?
I mean, we can ambush them this time, theoretically.
Yeah,
So I can
the
tell
tables
you,
have turned.
Sadly, you
tell
can't
you
do
now,
the American type.
I did do rolls for the pirates. they got like a natural 5 to pick up the trail. As soon as they got into the woods, they were getting minus 30s to keep hold of the trail. They went round in circles for a day. Like, literally just went round in a circle, picked up the original trail again, got back to where they were.
Oh, hang on. I find the trail again. You fucking idiot. We were here before.
So they were close behind you at one point. Like, there was like a day and a half in between. But then once they got into the forest and it got into the thick forest, it's just like, yeah, they were just going round in circles. So that's why they broke up into 3 teams to try and increase their search area. So next week, you will have the chance to scout yourself, send the Fetids out to scout, to see if you can ambush a smaller team or take them on in smaller sections, so on and so forth. So, prepare thyselves for next week. And we will see what happens. So yeah, I certainly hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I'm hopefully looking forward to future episodes to come. It was good. It's good to get back. And
I'm surprised you remembered that.
I am. Honestly, I was going to tell you all at the start of this game.
Rude.
I genuinely forgot. I sat down for about half an hour and I was like, right, really think about the shit that you've forgotten about, because there was so much. I was just like, I should have really written this all down properly, not just done little notes here and there.
I mean, you could have asked for my notes.
Well, no, like, genuinely, Albie, my notes are normally enough to spark my memory and I'll remember it. But I was writing things down and I'm just like looking at them going, hang on a minute, what does that add up to? And then what does... And then about 10 minutes before I got into chat, I was like, hang on, no. I remembered a lot. This happened, that happened. It's coming back. It's coming back. I've reawakened those centers of my brain. Like, fuck.
I've got 16 pages of notes.
Jesus
Just
Christ.
found it. And that's only the session reports, which I only write down the things involving me.
That's awesome.
I have another 20 pages with bookkeeping, like what's a calculus logi upgrade, what's a locator matrix, what's the locator implant, what's fatigue, what's the rank, what ranks did I buy?
Very nice, but right, before I zone out, yeah, we're going to end the episode off there. So thank you all so much for watching. Take care, everyone, and as always, bye-bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.
Ah!
See ya.
Where the fuck did you come out of?